Hey, good morning, traders. How we doing? Happy Wednesday, Fed Day. I was just getting ready to pull up a chart to see we can all do this together. Just to confirm. Yep, 11 o'clock. You know what's interesting about this is that I can feel it near. Here's my 2000 chart, and I started trading the 2000. I'm not trading it. I'm using it kind of like the hourly, the 240. Like just trying to get a feel for it, and just you can see how tight this is. You can see how tight it is. It's just coiled up, right? And we can have a drop down into the kill zone, and then something like that. And I'm just thinking about the possibilities here, guys. I'm not trading this. Oh, what's going on? Oh, I got this mouse that is just damn near death. I think today's the day I get a new one. That's like the fourth time, right? So you can see how, into this kill zone here, price could just keep coming down, and then, like something like that. Who knows? Who cares? I don't have the feeling that, the market's going to turn around and just, start doing new things. This isn't the type of political climate for us to be like, oh yeah, we're going for new highs. There's nothing in our life right now that would say that to me. And that's just a feeling of the economy. I mean, I can point to a couple things that I think are, housing market, credit card delinquencies, card loan delinquencies, and things that are, popping into our lives here and there. Unemployment's starting to get a little bit, so I just don't have a feeling. So I have a feeling that they're going to probably keep them the same, and just to try to not upset the administration, because they're, if they don't like it, whatever. I just try and stay out of it. But my point is that I don't feel like this is really getting a place to get long. And so I've been, trading this smaller time frame, or not the trading. I trade the 750 because I want to get I really like the size, like I can get into a small, I can see, the impulse up. I can see that there, right? I can see how there's a shelf and a wash and all the steps that I'm looking for are built into this. And if I look over here on the left, right over here, where am I at? Right there. That's that poise there. That's so it's, I can get in here and run my business and be good, right? I can make it happen. I don't have to, um, you know, take larger trades that I may not want to take, or, do some things that I'm really not comfortable with. It's hard enough as it is. So I want to keep it as easy as possible. And remember, folks, this is what we're looking for: an impulse leg, a shelf, a wash, a retest of the low, or maybe a new low. Excuse me. And then enter behind the wash for a new low, or get out somewhere around here, because you can see that price oftentimes, after it makes a new high or it makes a new low, turns around and goes the other way, right? Even on the bars, right? Down, takes out the low, pop, comes back up. I mean, that's just the level that we're at, right? This here, and we could argue that this is a swing right there, okay? Right? Price comes down here, pulls back, and then you have your inside bar, and then it takes out the low. It takes out the low. And then what does it do? It pulls back into it, right? And all we're trying to do, God dang it, guys, look at that. I can see it right here. dude, this is why we practice this stuff, right? I have a stop right here. You want to trade this? This is just, it doesn't work, but it's close. Come on. That's why we're doing this, guys, because you practice this stuff. You see it in all these different shapes and forms and sizes. And yeah, I should be, floating on a yacht in the middle of wherever, but I'm not because, I'm a trader and I have a 30 to 40% win rate. You guys got to have fun with this, but this has been tough trading. And I'm pretty sure this is because of what the market's been doing, getting ready for the interest rate hike, or news. And, so, right, we're mapping out our flow, right? We're mapping out our flow. And so we have our kill zone off of this swing here. And I just grabbed this one. I'm not looking at anything else, right? If you want to trade this down here, you got to stop right there, dude. Right? You can trade that little, and just you have to go through all this stuff. I mean, that's enough to give you heartburn, right? You're so close to getting it, it pulls back. Oh, okay. No, then it comes all the way back here. And then you bring in the emotional side. I don't want to lose, and then you have to deal with that whole thing. Don't be afraid to lose. If there's any advice that I can give you, have your setup, have yourself centered. When I say centered, you are, if this is your life, and this is the center, and you have, all these things that can. You have all these things that are floating around in your world that are doing things that are causing this stuff to cause you grievance, to cause you distractions, right? And you want to get back to this. You have to center yourself somehow so that you can just kind of bring it in so that the noise doesn't affect you, right? One of the hardest things to do in this business is to deal with your emotions, probably the hardest. And people don't talk about that as often as they should. And for me, it was failing and giving up. And I remember my mentor talking about it. He's like, you got to give up. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? And I guess I felt it, but there was a time that I could sit there and I just, I just let go, and I didn't I think what happened is I made a trade, and I went away and I forgot about the trade. I know that seems weird, but it's happened more than once. And I'm sitting there and I come back and I didn't move my stop, and it was a news day. That's what it was. And I had a proper stop, and I come back and I'm up a whole lot of money. I forget how much. It was a lot. And I had a meeting with my mentor, a session, and we were talking about it and how he's like, see, you left. And it was good because I left my trading in my office, and I went off to do whatever it was I was doing. When I came back, I was pissed that I had left it, but I knew that if I had managed it, I would have been break even, and I wouldn't have got the pump or the impulse leg that I was trying to get. And so that's where I realized that, no matter what I do, it doesn't matter, right? I can control a few things, right? I can control where to put a stop, where to put an entry, where to put my target, right? And I can draw, and I can observe, but I can't know that this bar is going to wipe out all those gains and just then take off again. I've done it several times, and even to today, I still get nervous about it. And maybe what I'll do is I'll button up my, tighten it up a little bit because you're nervous. You feel like you got to do something, right? That's the other side about trading is you feel like you got to do something, and you don't really do anything. we're as humans, we're busybodies. Our minds are racing. We're doing all these things left and right, going all these places. My schedule today is screwed. I have like the next 3 days are screwed. I'm probably not going to trade because I just don't have the focus. And with the news coming out, forget about it. You got to deal with your emotions. The only way to deal with them is just to take them head on. And it's hard to do. It's easy to say. And, and that's why having, an impulse leg, having a shelf, having a wash, having the steps, having this system set up so that I know this I do it all the time, right? Step 1, impulse. Step 2, shelf. Step 3, wash. Step 4, retest. Step 5, enter. And it happens everywhere, guys. It just, I just picked one out over here because I could just, you look for that pullback, it's just, I don't, it's just like we can just go through and pop them out. But this is tough, dude, right? But this is how price moves in a flow over time, right? It expands, it contracts, and it expands again. And all we're trying to do is get into a spot where that contraction or that expansion, we can hide behind it. I can hide behind this guy here. It's a nice, hard, clean looking wash. Right? That's and I know it's hindsight, guys, but we have to look in hindsight to get to the future. We have to look at hindsight to get to the future. Right? And then you can just say, okay, I've got, tested the low, put your orders in, and let it go. Right? And then you have to deal with, okay, I'm selling into an uptrend, right? I'm selling into buyers. These are all buyers down here. And the sellers are trying to climb out and the market's trying to go up and feel it, but it's tight, right? And we have news today. The Fed's coming out with stuff. So, I really work on, this is why one of the things I do in the morning is this session, this quick little update. And I post updates throughout the morning about, things I see or things that jump out at me because it's just helpful to get myself grounded and try to ignore all the other things that are going on so I don't get caught up in it. Because it's hard enough as it is. Right? It's hard enough as it is. That's it, man. That's it. It's your trade. That was your trade for the day. Right? That's tough. That's tough trading because you got to sit through all this stuff. And then unless, I'm at break even right here. If this thing doesn't go here, I'm at break even. But if it pulls back, you're like, oh, maybe it's going to happen. Never know. Right? We got this big old impulse leg down. This is tough trading. I looked at some other charts too, just to kind of get a feel for it. And I haven't come up with anything that I like so much. And the problem is the size. I'm not a big balling dude with a whole lot of cash. I've got a nice pile, but I can't get behind some of the numbers that are thrown out there. I can't take, 5-figure losses, and just be like, oh, okay, we're gonna, get it back tomorrow. No, I can't do that on a regular basis. But what I can do is I can do smaller trades and make a more of an impact on a day-to-day basis. And that's just my style. I'm not here to invest. If I invest in the market, but I don't, this is my trading business. So I trade differently. I like having a smaller size. I like having, I can go in here with 3, 4, 5, 6 contracts maybe, and really kind of, just have enough for me to get through what I need to do and get better at reading the chart. I was listening to this, or I was reading this other trader's blog the other day, and it's so interesting because everyone's different. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone has their thing. But when I see a common theme, that I'm saying and they're saying, then I get interested in that. And the one thing was um, uh, dealing with losses and dealing with um, your emotional side. And I don't think it's talked about enough. I don't think that we deal with, why I hired a mentor for over a year was because I was struggling. I could see this stuff. I know it. It's like reading but not being able to speak. Like, why can't I do this? And you have to figure out your emotional side, and you really don't know what that is until you. I mean, dude, I've made stupid money in the shortest amount of time. You know, a month or two of worth of income in a fraction of a morning, and I've lost it all because I got full of myself and I just was like, oh yeah, hey, this is great. I'm gonna start, loading up, and then things change, and then you got to deal with that, and you got your same size, and you got this and that. It sucks to lose thousands of dollars in a minute. How are you gonna turn to your family and be like, well, here's the deal, guys. It takes a long time to do this. But the upside is that there are people doing this. It is possible. You have to figure out how you're going to get there. And that's it. And once you can figure that out, right? That's why this whole thing, that's why I lean on this. I just over and over and over again. Because I know that my system, this whole thing, this is how price expands through this whole setup. That's it. Right? Just take this over here. See this? I feel like I'm getting lectured by my pops about life. Um, right? That's how it flows. So we've just isolated that. This is tough trading, guys. This is really tough. You know. Um, so I'm not, I'm looking tight stops, and just sitting back and just relaxing. This thing's gonna like really what we could do if we want to be, pioneers. I say pioneers like Lewis and Clark or somebody. Where's the stop? Okay, where's the stop? Let's say, right, we've got this guy here. It's a pretty big one. We've got, let's investigate this side here. Price, popped up here right now. Right now, this is the stop, right? Price hasn't violated this piece of the puzzle, right? So right now, that's the stop. And because I practice this and I look at it all the time and I deal with it on a regular basis, I can take this setup and I can move it into another realm, right? I still have my impulse leg coming down. I just don't really have a shelf, but everything else is in play, right? This whole thing is in play as our retest. Step 4. So it's in play, and all I'm doing is, this is just. I mean, I don't know, guys. I'm glad I didn't do it yesterday. I was really busy too. This week sucks. My schedule. And that's fine. I don't. It's a. I don't have to. I don't have to trade up. Right down. It's gonna land right here. Right. Let's. Is it gonna go up another one? Right. Maybe we have a measured move. Right. There's a measured move right there. So keep your emotions in check. Size down. Don't feel like you need to. You know. There's no heroes in this game. It's just getting better at trading so you can do what you love to do. Your craft. Be good at a skill. Look at this thing. Look at that coil. To me, it's just. I'm trying to find literally that little coil there. Pop, boom. Yeah, I'm if anything, I'd say I'm shorting this market. I don't have any confidence in our administration, government right now. I think that we're running off the rails. Did we look at the 240? Do this real quick and we're out of here. Where's the stop? Right here. Here's our stop. So, and you got this one here. After that, I have to go back in time. So anyhow, what do you guys think? Anybody got an idea? This guy, I'm telling you. Here's my plan. Here's it's gonna go boop, 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 boop. Just keep it running somewhere in here. But that's how price expands. Don't we know that though? Can't we trade it? Right? Isn't it better? Isn't it better to kind of see this in this way than to say, well, and I could be wrong. Look, I'm wrong most of the time too. So don't feel like I'm preaching whatever. These are nice bars though, right? Down here. I don't even know. Can we find one? Let's just find. We found that trade earlier, right? This one over here. Like just to see that flow. Price comes up. Comes over. Look at that. Just drop, 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 drop. That's hard to live in, guys. It's just gives you your stops down here. Your shelf is right there. Now, how you can turn this around, and maybe this is what you do. This is what my mentor does. He brings his orders down here. So he'll bring his orders down to almost the base of this. And then he has a really nice trade inside it, and he can get 5 to 1. He doesn't take a lot of trades, and maybe that's a strategy we should look into. Maybe that's what I'll do. If I see an impulse come down, if I see an impulse off the top, right, and I see price pull back here, just put orders right here, and then let that happen, and then just give yourself a nice little stop for an easy trade. Maybe that's what I'll do. Don't be afraid to switch it up. Change it up. Change your time frame. Change your, whatever it is you're thinking about, getting into. But I don't know. What do I know? I'm just a guy on the internet trading for a living. All right, have a good one. Hang in there. Stop trading like around 10:30 if you're trading, and then get back into it if you want to trade from 11:30 to 12:30. That's my Fed interest rate, strategies. I just take an hour off. But what I find is that between 7 and 9 is probably 7 and 8. You're going to see the best flow, and then after that, it's going to get junky. All right, we'll talk.